The secret to living peacefully. Buddha's teachings on how to let go of heavy thoughts. The secret to living peacefully. Buddha's teachings on how to let go of heavy thoughts. Human life is filled with thoughts, some light and passing, others heavy and persistent. Heavy thoughts are the ones that drain our energy, disturb our sleep, and cloud our hearts. They arise as worry, regret, fear, anger, and endless mental chatter. Over time, if we do not learn to release them, these thoughts grow into suffering. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha understood this deeply and offered timeless wisdom to help people let go of these mental burdens and live peacefully. This article explores the profound teachings of the Buddha on how to release heavy thoughts and cultivate a mind that is calm, free, and steady. 1. Understanding the nature of heavy thoughts. Heavy thoughts do not appear randomly. The Buddha taught that the mind is shaped by causes and conditions. Thoughts arise from memories, habits, attachments, fears, and desires. They become heavy when we cling to them, believing them, feeding them, and replaying them repeatedly. According to Buddhist psychology, thoughts are impermanent. Thoughts are not who we are. Thoughts lose power when we observe them mindfully. Suffering happens not because thoughts exist, but because we identify with them. The Buddha compared the mind to a flowing river, always moving, always changing. Heavy thoughts become suffering when we hold on to them like rocks, refusing to let the river flow. 2. Mindfulness, the first step to letting go. The Buddha emphasized mindfulness as the foundation for freeing ourselves from mental suffering. Mindfulness means being fully aware of the present moment without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we observe thoughts objectively instead of being controlled by them. Imagine watching clouds drift across the sky. This is how the Buddha tells us to observe our thoughts. A thought appears, stays for a moment, and disappears. We do not chase the cloud, nor do we try to stop it. We simply notice it. When we observe heavy thoughts mindfully, they lose their emotional intensity. They pass more quickly. They no longer dictate our actions. Mindfulness creates a space between stimulus and reaction. In that space, peace grows. 3. Letting go through. Understanding. Impermanence. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is anicca, impermanence. Everything in life changes constantly. Emotions, thoughts, situations, relationships, and even the body. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist this truth. Heavy thoughts become lighter when we remember. This too will pass. Every emotion, no matter how overwhelming, eventually fades. Every anxious thought loses its grip with time. When we accept impermanence, we stop fighting our experiences and begin to relax. Letting go does not require destroying the thought. It simply requires allowing it to come and go naturally. Part 4. Not self, you are not your thoughts. Another profound teaching is anatta, or non-self. The Buddha explained that thoughts are not our identity. They arise from the mind, but they are not who we are. When we believe I am anxious or I am broken, we fuse our identity with the thought. This solidifies suffering. But when we shift the perspective to a thought of anxiety is arising, we create distance. The mind becomes an observer, not a prisoner. Understanding non-self helps us detach from harmful thinking, reduce self-judgment, stop taking thoughts personally, create inner clarity. When we stop identifying with heavy thoughts, they lose their ability to dominate us. 5. Replacing heavy thoughts with right view. The Buddha taught that the mind becomes peaceful through wisdom. Heavy thoughts are often rooted in misconceptions, fear of the unknown, unrealistic expectations, misunderstandings, or false beliefs. Right view. One part of the Noble Eightfold Path helps us see things clearly. When we understand the true nature of life, many heavy thoughts dissolve on their own. Examples: understanding that life includes challenges helps reduce anxiety. Recognizing that people act from their own suffering reduces anger. Seeing that nothing is permanent reduces fear of loss. Wisdom cuts through mental illusions, leaving the mind lighter and freer. 6. Letting go of the past. Many heavy thoughts come from the past: regret, mistakes, betrayals, heartbreaks, and pain that the mind continues to replay. The Buddha taught that clinging to the past is like carrying a bag of stones on your back. The weight grows heavier with every step. To live peacefully, the Buddha encourages forgiveness, acceptance, self-compassion, understanding. Letting go of the past does not erase it. It frees you from being controlled by it. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship with it can. When you release the past, you open the door to peace. 7. Letting go of fear of the future. Heavy thoughts also arise from worrying about what has not yet happened. Fear of the future creates stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights. The Buddha taught that the future is created by present actions. Worrying does not change anything. It only steals your peace. Letting go of future fears requires staying present, trusting in the path, acting mindfully today, releasing expectations. When we focus on what we can control in the present moment, the future becomes less frightening. Peace grows where fear once lived. Done. Compassion, softening the mind to release. Burdens compassion toward ourselves and others is a powerful tool for letting go. The Buddha taught that kindness softens the mind, making heavy thoughts easier to release. Self-compassion means speaking gently to yourself, accepting your imperfections, understanding that suffering is universal, giving yourself permission to heal. When we treat ourselves with compassion, heavy thoughts lose their sharpness. They become softer, easier to manage, and eventually fade. Compassion toward others helps dissolve anger, resentment, and bitterness, 3 of the heaviest mental burdens. 9. Meditation, training the mind to be peaceful. Meditation is the central method the Buddha taught for calming the mind. Through meditation, we strengthen awareness, stability, and inner clarity. Different types of meditation help with heavy thoughts. Breathing meditation. Focusing on the breath anchors the mind in the present, stopping heavy thoughts from spiraling. Loving kindness meditation. Metta. This dissolves anger, self-criticism, and negativity. Insight meditation, vipassana. This helps us observe the nature of thoughts, seeing their impermanence and emptiness. With consistent practice, meditation transforms the mind. Thoughts no longer overpower you. They become soft waves instead of storms. 10. Letting go through simplicity. The Buddha lived a simple life, not by force but by wisdom. He taught that the more we accumulate mentally and materially, the heavier life becomes. Simplicity invites peace. When we simplify our environment, our desires, our daily habits, our expectations, we reduce the mental noise that fuels heavy thoughts. A simple mind is a peaceful mind. 11. The power of letting go, freedom and peace. Letting go is not a weakness, it is a profound strength. It requires courage to release what weighs us down, but the reward is immense. When we let go, the mind becomes light, the heart becomes open, peace becomes natural, happiness becomes stable. The Buddha taught that letting go is the path to liberation. It frees us from the chains of fear, regret, anger, and confusion. It allows us to live fully in the present moment with clarity and joy. 12. Practical ways to apply. Buddha's teachings daily. Here are simple daily practices based on the Buddha's wisdom. Pause for 3 mindful breaths whenever thoughts become heavy. Label your thoughts. This is fear, this is anger, to create distance. Gently redirect the mind to the present moment. Repeat a calming phrase such as "let it go" or "this too will pass." Practice gratitude to shift focus from burden to blessing. Write heavy thoughts down and release them on paper. Spend a moment in silence each morning to reset your mind. Small, mindful actions lead to deep inner transformation. Conclusion: the peace of a light heart. The Buddha's teachings reveal a timeless truth. Peace is not something we find outside ourselves. It is something we cultivate within. Heavy thoughts will always arise. That is part of being human. But suffering is not inevitable. Through mindfulness, compassion, wisdom, and the courage to let go, we can release the mental weights that burden us. When we stop clinging to heavy thoughts, the mind becomes like a clear lake, still, calm, and reflective. The secret to living peacefully is simple yet profound. Let go. Let the mind breathe. Let the heart rest. Let thoughts come and go like clouds. In this gentle practice of release, we discover the freedom, clarity, and deep peace the Buddha spoke of, a peace that no external circumstance can ever take away.